Every time I think about mental toughness, when I open the dictionary, I saw your picture there.
You can't be different by being the same as everyone else.
Yeah.
And you must be willing to do things that others are not willing to do.
It wouldn't be smart to apply mental toughness or to apply kind of
the never quit
mentality.
Never quit approach. I'm honored and humbled that you thought of me to be on Escapade.
Welcome to episode 2 of Escapade, a show about evolving to become the best version of ourselves. In Escapade, I host guests who are adventurous, changed their status quo, and achieved what most would think is impossible. This is a show that hopefully will inspire you, write a new story, as it would for me. If you feel like supporting my work, consider subscribing to this channel. I'm your host, Usama Nouri. And today we're discussing when would you be ready to change your status quo by practicing mental toughness and discipline. Enjoy the show.
Last round, best round. Chest up, back stay tight. Less talk, more work. Knees out.
Meet Tanner Shuck. He's on a mission to make the world a healthier place, one athlete at a time. He has been my coach for over 5 years now. He taught me everything I need to know about fitness and much more. People speak of his humility, respect, gratitude, but most of all, mental toughness and listening to very, very loud metal music. His accolades range from college medals all the way to first place in the 2014 CrossFit Open Asia and first place at 2014 Dubai Fitness Championship. He recently quit his job and went on an adventurous journey with no clear path or an end line in sight.
Dude, how did you get those? That's insane. That's like better than I ever could have thought it would have been.
So I'm just trying to see how can I deliver a message, but then in a filmmaking way.
Man, that is like incredible. I feel like it's almost it's almost discouraging. Like, all right, if I want to start my own YouTube channel, however, this is my first YouTube video that I might be featured in. It's not my video. I'm like, all right, now I have like nothing. Like, I can't live up to this.
It's really different. I got mixed reviews from people saying, you know what, this is so distracting. We watch this, but we end up saying, what did we watch? You know, and others are saying, "Oh wow, you're delivering a message in an entertaining way."
Yeah,
you're always having. Well,
you're still kind of refining your message. Well, maybe not your message, but your style of delivering your message. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But dude, I think the effort that you're putting forth is incredible, Usama.
The time now is about change, and if you think that things will go back to normal, especially for someone like me who works in a in a local company, that's part of the events industry. God knows when this will come back.
Who knows? That's very true. So it's good you're using your time very wisely right now to, like, when you have the time to start working on like this side hustle. It's amazing.
It is, and it's a hustle, all right. I mean, this is hard.
I don't doubt it. Literally, you drive all the way across town to take 5 2-second video clips of me. I mean, that's effort. It's a lot of effort.
It's something that I think it's to me it's the beginning.
Yeah.
If you ask me now, where is this heading? I don't know.
Well, I'm excited to see, man. And genuinely, I'm honored that you wanted to even have me on your video or feature me. So it's cool.
So that's exactly it. I'm very thankful for you to accept. You've been my coach for what, like 6-7 years now?
Yeah,
since
it's
2014.
basically 2014. I met you in 2013 for
13,
sure.
Yeah. I remember it's a funny story. So I remember the first time I saw you. I think you were still not officially a coach, or you were a coach. I can't remember, but you haven't coached me yet. And Basil was telling me, "Oh, this is the new coach. He's awesome. He's a badass." And I'm like, "Okay." And we were watching you. You were having some sort of a WOD with a group of.
Is this at Burn Room?
No, it was in Metalize, but it was just recently opened.
Okay.
And I remember you were doing wall balls, and I looked at you, and when you're squatting, at one squat, I think you lifted your heel for kind of a millimeter, and I was like, he's supposed to be a coach. How can he do that?
Believe me, I'm far from perfect on a lot of things.
And it was funny that I made a comment and I wasn't even able to do proper wall balls at the time. But you know how the mind thinks?
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable. And since then, you've been my coach.
Well, man, I'm super happy that, we've been on, I guess this, I don't know if you call it a journey, but we've known each other for all these years. And even though we may not be working together like we had, we're still able to maintain this relationship. Exactly. And it's super cool. So
that's it. I mean, this is, forget about the podcast and everything else. Really, how did you start? I mean, tell me a little bit about your, upbringing, your hometown, you and why, and what influenced you to become you?
Okay. I'll try to not talk for too long. I've always really enjoyed like playing sports, and even when I was just like a young kid, like, before I was 10 years old, I was always very competitive. And obviously both my parents were very influential on me, but my father really got me into, being competitive and working hard and like having a solid work ethic and kind of instilling discipline in me at a very young age. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I was like 9 years old, I wanted to play youth football, American football. And my dad wouldn't let me play unless I started like preparing to play and like training and like getting in shape just to play, youth football.
Was he an athlete himself?
My dad was an athlete, yeah. He played baseball and was probably really talented, probably could have went somewhere if he would have had probably the right direction and right focus.
Yeah.
But because I don't want to say he squandered his talent, he didn't, but because he didn't pursue it, I think he maybe regretted that. And then he always steered me in a direction to, really stay focused.
Yeah.
And so before I even got to play youth football, my dad's like, all right, you got to start working out and start getting ready to play. Otherwise, I'm not going to let you play.
Wow.
And so, since from a young age, like I started working out. My dad, he was big into training and like powerlifting and stuff. And so he had a pretty good background into exercise and lifting. Yeah. Okay. And so he introduced that to me, man, when I was like literally probably 7 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I started I was like, I knew about training for a long time and I'd been kind of doing it. And once I finally decided I wanted to play youth sports, with my friends and stuff, like my dad's like, all right, well, start working out consistently and then you can play. And so that's kind of where it began. So even when I was
that?
Where or when?
Where?
Actually, I grew up in Alaska.
Alaska?
Yeah. So
that's cold.
Yeah, it's cold, literally. So I grew up there. I was born in Oklahoma. And then when I was like 3 years old, I moved up to Alaska with my parents because they got jobs up there.
Right.
And so that's kind of where it all started for me as far as training and playing sports, and did that. And like school would finish. My dad would literally pick me up from school and like we would drive to the gym.
Oh, wow.
We'd go train. We'd probably do that like 5 days a week, from a young age. Yeah. And obviously I kind of took a liking to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed the process of lifting weights and getting stronger. I mean, like when I was a kid, I was like 12, 13. I mean,
how much did you, let's say, squat at the time?
Oh gosh.
Do you remember?
I remember squatting 60 kilos for the first time because I got to put like 45-pound plates on the bar. And
your first attempt?
I squatted at the first attempt because my dad said, all right, you can do this now. So he put a 45-pound plate on each side of the bar and he said, go squat that. And then I went and squatted it and I did it once and he's like, keep going. And I probably did it 5 or 6 times.
You were 13.
No, I was younger. I was probably like 11 or 12 years old.
You realize you probably have people now in their 20s and they can't squat down.
Yeah, I do realize that. But like, I mean, by the time I was 11, I'd still already been training for probably, 3 to 4 years per se. Wow. Like not like super dedicated and consistent, but like every week probably for sure,
For sure above average.
Yeah, above average. I mean, my dad he was with me all the time. He'd come to every sport practice I had, every soccer practice, every football practice. Like he was there, every wrestling practice I would go to.
How is he now, by the way? Haven't seen him in a while.
He's doing well. I think he's going to be coming to Dubai pretty soon.
Nice.
He's dealing with some like health issues, with his heart. And so I'm a little worried about him, to be honest, but hopefully he's going to be all right and get through. And so he's going to pass through Dubai on his way back to the United States. And he's going to go there and do a full health checkup. So hope he's doing all right.
And did you get any medals or any kind of accolades back at college or school?
Yeah. So when I was getting really serious about playing football, I decided at a young age, when I was like 13 or 14, like, all right, I want to go play college football, like Division I college football. And in Alaska, you're not really able to do that. I mean, the opportunity is much less. Like you're not going to find many Division I football players from the state of Alaska playing at major universities. Okay. And so where I was from Tulsa, Oklahoma originally, and my dad and I decided to like move me down there back to Tulsa.
For that purpose?
Solely to play football at Jinx High School, just so I could have an opportunity to play Division I college football, just so I would get, be able to get prospected, be able to get looked at by, major universities. And thankfully it worked out. Like my dad quit his job in Alaska. He had a really good job in Alaska, quit his job for me, moved me down to Oklahoma. I lived with my aunt and uncle for 2 years because my dad he got another job, but it was a bit too far away from where I needed to go to school to play at that particular high school. And so I lived with my aunt and uncle for 2 years just to play football. And I mean, I was going to school and, living a normal life, but I mean,
that's commitment from everybody.
Yeah, no, it's like kind of been like a lifelong, journey for me. And kind of, I've always been really committed to playing sports.
That explains a lot of things,
Yeah.
Your mental toughness, your kind of commitment, your resilience, your everything is just
for sure. It's not just I didn't just like become super disciplined, one day. It was really ingrained into me from a very young age.
And you saw it in role models. I mean, the way you speak about your father is just
so nice. He's extremely influential, probably the most influential person I've ever had in my life for sure. And I mean, he was obviously instrumental. And so where I am today, fast forward a bit. So thankfully I did end up going to play Division I college football. I had a really successful high school career, playing football at Jinx High School. And then I got a scholarship to play Division I college football at Rice University. And so I went and did that. I was there for 5 years. I played for 4 years because I redshirted 1 year. And when I was finished playing college football, I really wasn't ready to get a real job. All I really wanted to do was continue focusing on like playing sports.
This is where you went into the oil and gas business?
Yeah. So when I discovered CrossFit or competitive fitness my final year of university. I saw it on a sports channel, ESPN,
right.
The CrossFit Games. Yeah. And I decided at that moment, as soon as I saw that, I was like, all right, well, if I'm not going to go play professional football, then I'm going to go be really good at CrossFit. Gotcha. I decided it from that moment. And so
it's like democratizing the sports and competitiveness.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, like, I mean, that's just the kind of person I am. I've always been into sports and playing sports. And I just knew instantly, like, if I don't play football, then I'm going to go do CrossFit.
Right.
And so that led me on the journey that I'm still kind of on. I finished up school, and then all I wanted to do was work out and do CrossFit. And so I mistakenly took a job in the oil and gas industry, working 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, thinking
on the rig.
Yeah, exactly. And I had like a degree and everything, like from a really good school, but none of that really mattered to me because I just wanted to be able to work out and still be able to like make enough money to support myself. Cause obviously I wasn't going to go, you know, back to my parents and live with my parents or ask them for anything. So I did that, and that was a really good learning lesson. I learned a lot about what money's worth and a lot about, you know, what I do not want to do.
Was that in the States?
That was in the States. So like that was right after I finished up college. I took a job literally for 1 month working on an oil rig, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And it was just like hard manual labor. And you know, you're wearing like overalls, work boots, like a hard hat, and like you're in like extremely hot temperatures. I mean, it's very, very hard work, which I don't mind working hard, but
you do that day in, day out anyway.
Yeah. The lifestyle for me, just, it wasn't feasible because I wasn't really able to train like I thought I would be able to. Like I thought, all right, 2 weeks I'll have to work and I'll still be able to train, you know, after work. And then 2 weeks I'll be off and I'll get to train as much as I want. Right. It didn't work out like that. And I quickly discovered that. And then
yeah, 2 weeks that you're on.
Yeah. You're on, you're not doing anything else. Absolutely. And like when you're off, like all you want to do is be able to eat and sleep. And it's a hard lifestyle. I'll put it that way. And, so I quickly discovered that like this, I wasn't being true to myself, you know, like at that point I was making actually really good money, especially for just finishing up college, you know, but I really discovered like, I don't really care about money. All I want to do is work out and kind of follow my passion. And so I quit that job, you know, it's my first job. I was there for a month and I quit and
let go of the money.
I let go of it. And I mean, it's not really that I enjoyed the job. It's just, I enjoyed making the money, I suppose, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't being true to myself. So then I was jobless. I went back to Oklahoma and I was staying with my sister, you know, for probably about a month. And I was really looking to what I'm going to do next. Like, what am I going to do for...
She's an athlete as well, I remember.
Former, like she was like a physique competitor. Yeah. We were both like into fitness for sure. Wow. But I went and stayed with her for a little while and I was kind of lost. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do besides, you know, I really wanted to do CrossFit, but I knew I needed to get a job because I had to pay my sister rent if I was going to be living with her. And so I was looking at firefighting for a while, and then that
firefighting,
yeah, because that was another job where you could work like 1 day on, 2 days off.
Right.
And so anyways, that didn't pan out. And then my dad, he lives in the Philippines. And so my dad was like, you know what, just come take a vacation to the Philippines, come see this side of the world, experience a bit of life before you do get, you know, a job and, you know, get settled into a career. Cause then when you're working, you may not ever have time to go see the world. Right. So I went and took a vacation to the Philippines with my dad. And that really kind of forever changed my life. Cause when I was there, long story short, I ended up meeting John Britton, who was coaching at the CrossFit gym in Manila in the Philippines.
Right. John was there as well.
Yeah. So then I took over John's job coaching CrossFit in Manila. And that was great for me because I got to start coaching CrossFit. I was able to train as much as I wanted. And I was trying to go compete and go to the CrossFit Games. Right. And so it really served my purpose. Where did
John go at the time?
John, he went to a CrossFit gym in South Korea. So he received like kind of a better job offer. And so he vacated his job in the Philippines and I just kind of took it over. It was like right place, right time kind of thing. And then I was in the Philippines for, you know, around a year coaching and training. And I went to the CrossFit Regionals in 2013. Yeah. And I tied for second place, but I didn't get to go to the games that year because only the first place finisher got to go to the games at that time. Yeah. So anyways, and then I heard about this big, you know, Dubai Fitness Championship. Right. Yeah, that was a big competition. They were giving away, you know, quite a bit of prize money for. Yeah. And so I heard about that. And then it was still kind of new at the time. And I flew from the Philippines to Dubai to compete in that competition. Yeah. And luckily I did the competition. It went quite well. I got third place. And so I made the podium and I actually made...
One of the awards were held at the ice rink in Dubai.
Yeah. Actually, I remember that. I think the majority of the competition was at the ice rink in Dubai Mall. Yeah. And so I was there competing. And
that was the first edition, wasn't it?
I think it was like the second or maybe third year of the Dubai Fitness Championship. I'm not sure. Maybe the second. But it was the first year that it was really like legitimate. Like they had big name CrossFit Games athletes competing, you know, like big name like CrossFit Games athletes. So I was there and with them competing, and I was still kind of just getting into CrossFit. I'd only been doing it for like a year. And then because
I got third place.
I got third place that year. And because I did fairly well in that competition, I received a job offer from Abdul Rahman.
This is where Abdul Rahman met you.
Yeah. So he was at Dubai Mall because he was wanting to open up CrossFit Metalize, his gym,
true.
you know, but he didn't really have a good coach at the time, or, you know, a head coach per se. And so once that happened, he saw that I got third, and he contacted me, and then we sat down for lunch at basically Mall of the Emirates. And he kind of just offered me a job, you know, and luckily he had enough faith and confidence in me as a coach, you know,
and the rest is history.
Yeah, you know, to do it. And then the job offer was great, and it was significantly better than my job that I had in the Philippines. And so
of course,
that's what got me to Dubai. And I'm really sorry I took about 10 minutes to answer that question. But that's kind of the entire backstory.
It is. So it's clearly, you know, so I had in mind a question: how did you get into fitness? Is that fitness got into you before you even realize it?
Yeah,
like you were born into it. That's,
basically. I mean, my first real passion was playing American football, and I really wanted to pursue that as far as I could, and I did, and I don't have any regrets about that. But you know, once that was over, I was still, you know, wanting to compete in something, and so I just naturally gravitated towards CrossFit.
Right.
And I've basically been doing that since. I started in 2012. And started in 2012, and I've basically been doing it since. Training, coaching, you know, showing people how to live a healthy life.
Okay. You hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. So let me do that. Sync. Okay.
So you literally have to clap to sync that?
No, it's so the way it works, and this is what I've again learned from YouTube and others, is because I have 1, 2, 3 cameras, right? And then the audio, we have 2 audio files, one for your vocals and one for mine, which is recorded here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files that I will input into the editing system. And then to have the lip sync and all the kind of footage, the application must match the audio signature that is currently being captured by those cameras and by this device.
So are those cameras recording our audio as well?
Yeah. But but in a way that is obviously very, very bad.
Yeah, obviously that's why you have the microphones.
Exactly. Now, but so the application wouldn't be able to sync everything together unless there's a very high kind of noise.
Yeah.
And that's what the clap is all about. So it sees those 2 and it syncs everything to the millisecond of that, and then everything else is synced.
Oh, that's amazing.
Right. And then when I stack them on top of each other, I just say, okay, now you're talking, so that camera is working. Now this is talking, this camera is working. And then when both of us are talking, that camera kind of a wide angle. It's I'm still learning. I don't know how it looks.
I'm so happy that I know you. I think this is gonna you're gonna be very helpful.
Since when was the time we sat together? Was it earlier this week? Last week?
Yes, it was like
Sunday or Monday.
Not last week, but the week before. That's when you called me up and you're like, "Hey, let's have a coffee." I said, "Yeah, come on." And then you told me about what you're doing, and now here we are doing it. So it's amazing.
Doing it. So it's like going through our plans. It's really nice.
It is nice.
So anyway, so that's a good segue back to the topic at hand. So the topic at hand is mental toughness. And the moment, you know, I thought about every time I think, so this is me, right? Yeah. Every time I think about mental toughness, when I opened the dictionary, I saw your picture there. I was like, you looking at me like, you know, it's like, that's mental toughness right there. You know, it's like manifested in a human form.
Yeah.
So how's your lifestyle? How's your fitness? Because I know when you're working out. So the other day when we took the shots for the video, I think it was a mistake from my end. We shouldn't have done it. Well, it turned out to be hopefully good, but in my mind, we shouldn't have done it as a typical workout because I felt like I've done something wrong to you, because this is your workout time and nothing else should interfere with it, right?
Right.
So knowing you, I know that's something, and because for me it's the same thing. I mean, you've taught me this, and now when I work out, I just put my head down and sweat it, and that's it.
Yeah, you just go get it done.
I don't listen to anyone. I don't even take my phone out of my car. I just keep it in my car, go in the gym, do what I gotta do, go back, and that's it. While I'm in the zone, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why I felt bad for it. So what I'm trying to say is this mental toughness, how did it impact you, and where did you get it? How do you...
I think it all stems back to my parents again, and my father. He told me from a very young age, you can't be different by being the same. That's what he told me. And so when I was a kid, I heard that over and over and over again. That's always like, I've always been a very competitive kind of person, no matter what I was doing. And that's why I think I really gravitated towards CrossFit. And because I feel like the fittest people in the world, they're not the fittest because they're the best physically. They're the fittest because they're the best mentally, and if
they're committed.
Yes.
They finish. They actually work hard.
Yeah. And you have to, I think for me, I've always been kind of a tenacious kind of person. And, I don't really just go to work out. I don't go through it. I go in and really attack my workouts. Yeah. And, I'm extremely competitive, extremely competitive.
Do you think that mindset should be adopted by, whether it's the workouts, the physical workouts, or, out in life with, with family, like you said, with husband and wife. Do you think that mindset is a healthy mindset to be adopted across, or there are times and places for it and others are not? What do you think?
I think it would probably be more of a situational,
right.
It would be more situational. I think, at the right time, in the right place, if you want to have that do or die, attitude and mindset and, win at all costs. I don't think that would be healthy for, every day or a lot of people or their relationship. But for someone like me, when it comes to competing and, training, that's the mindset I've always had, and that's the mindset that I always will have. And it's kind of like a win at all costs mindset. It's
for you,
life or death.
For you, does that spill over something else outside of fitness? Do you feel it, that the same mental toughness, the same?
I think you build a lot of mental toughness and a lot of resilience through fitness and through extreme hard work, physical labor, and putting yourself through a lot of uncomfortable situations. And I do think that helps you out in everyday life. However, I have not found myself to be as competitive or as tenacious in other aspects of my life other than training or competing, if that makes sense.
Like what?
Well, I consider myself an ambitious person,
right.
And I didn't get into CrossFit or coaching CrossFit per se to be a CrossFit coach or a fitness trainer. I simply got into CrossFit because I wanted to be the fittest man in the world, and I wanted to be the best at it. And
coaching was just a means to that.
Yeah, that was a means to allow me to do that. It turns out that I take a lot of pride in everything I do, and it's important to me that I am a good coach and I have a positive impact on people and improve their life.
You most certainly do.
Yeah, thank you. But like I said, I never got into CrossFit for coaching. I really got into it just to sustain myself and compete because I wanted to be the best at it. And I think that all just stemmed back from when I was a kid and what my father told me: you can't be different by being the same, and no matter what, do not let anyone work harder than you. And I believe that. I still believe that.
I think Mike Tyson said he wakes up at 4 a.m. because he knows that his opponents are sleeping, and that gives him an edge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So every single thing that you do day in, day out, if you don't think about that from that perspective, you'll be stepped over.
It really does. And I really try not to focus on what other people are doing. I really just try to focus on what I'm doing.
Exactly.
But like I said, you can't be different by being the same as everyone else.
Yeah.
And you must be willing to do things that others are not willing to do. And I
think especially in this day and age, right?
Yeah, that especially in this day and age. But that mindset has, I think, gotten me far in life, and it's something I've adopted, and I'll continue to, continue to practice for sure.
And this is what you're telling all of your athletes. Is this something that you would pass on to your athletes, to your children, to your kids?
I really try to what I really try to pass on to my athletes or clients is actually more gratitude.
Right.
And I think a lot of my coaching or a lot of my advice has also been shaped because I've faced quite a bit of adversity in my life through, a lot of injuries.
Right. Yeah.
And so I don't encourage, or I don't, push my competitive nature on any of my clients or athletes. I mean,
right.
I feel like that's more of an individual thing, and I am that way because I think my dad was a really competitive and tenacious person too. And I don't know if it's like something I just inherited or if it was like nurtured onto me. But that's just that's what makes me tick. But
if I'd compare this, so the way you're describing your upbringing and the way you're describing your mindset and mentality to someone like Steve Jobs, he had the same thing.
Right.
To someone like Elon Musk, or someone like, all those kind of big names that currently are, I wouldn't label them as successful or not, but they're kind of at that stage or at that place where they've achieved a lot and they were able to make a huge impact, positive, mostly, worldwide. I mean,
absolutely, they changed the world.
They changed the world, right?
Yeah.
And that was, in my opinion, purely because of that. Now, again, it's not a label of good or bad. It's not whether it's you have to do it or not. I think you said it perfectly right. There's a time and place for it, and it takes years of experience and coaching from others as well, listening and probably reading to understand where do you have to do it. I mean, take, for example, relationships. Sometimes you go through this mental toughness or kind of resilience in a relationship, but then sometimes genuinely it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be smart to apply mental toughness or to apply kind of
the never quit
mentality,
never quit approach.
It wouldn't apply. It wouldn't. And the same thing with jobs. So I had a job years and years back where I wasn't happy, but then I in my mind I always felt like quit. So I'm kind of a mini version of that mindset that you have.
You're not a quitter. You don't want to quit your job.
No, so I can't. But
happy.
then at some certain points in time, I look at myself and say, "This is not quitting. Sometimes there's things." So I'm a big believer in sometimes when there's a wall, you try to break it. But if it's unbreakable, you go around it.
Right.
You don't go through it. It's sometimes it's not smart to go through it and apply that sort of mindset.
Agreed. That's why I don't think my mindset towards, I guess, athletics or competing would apply in a lot of other areas of life. I mean, in some aspects, yeah, it could, and it could help you, but in many other aspects,
exactly.
Not so much.
The way I think of it is life, and the way I look at it, and the way I look at it, it's like a big, the DJ board or the kind of levers board where you have all these dials.
Yes.
And then I say, okay, this is where I have to apply it at a maximum. This is I have to dial it down. This is I have to, and then that conscious visual of everything in my life, like lanes, right? And then I apply it here. I reduce it here. I apply it here. That is what we need to have, not the mental toughness in its pure form. It's knowing it, but then knowing when and how to apply it in the right situation.
Absolutely.
Right, and that's I think what can get people to excel really and become better, because this is why we're here on life. I mean, what's the purpose of us being here if we're not tomorrow? We're better than today, and today we're better than yesterday, right?
Yes.
Across. whether it's mentally, physically, intellectually, relationship-wise.
Yeah, you're on a never-ending path of self-improvement.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's something I think it's part of being in like a growth mindset. And I think that's something that more people need to adopt. And really, that's something that I want to inspire people to do. Or, when they face adversity, like I said, I want to go back to gratitude. Like, more people need to practice gratitude, and being thankful for just what they have, or just being thankful that they're alive.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think super, super important.
It is, yeah. Especially with what's happening in the world. I mean, I'm thankful today that we're here. I'm very grateful that we're having this discussion under, in a situation where people now look at Lebanon. I mean, heartbroken situations there. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions, have been impacted in a way that really you can't help but shed a tear. And it's just and then you look at yourself sitting here, and sometimes you look at yourself and you feel guilty. I don't know. For me, I feel guilty. I'm like, should I really be living this life where others are kind of under war in Syria suffering? Is just,
and I think the best way to go about that is just try to spread, your message and help those that you're around, surrounded by, like pick those up around you. I think that's the best way to go about, making a positive change and being a positive, having a positive impact on people.
That's true.
I feel the same way a lot of times, and there'll be times when, I may have to work out, for my second time in the day, and I've been training for 3 or 4 days straight, and my body's tired, I'm sore, I don't have any motivation to train. But then I think to myself, Tanner, I don't have to do this. Like, I get to do this. Yeah. I literally have the opportunity to work out. And there's so many people around the world that don't even have that opportunity.
Absolutely.
They're not even healthy enough to work out. They may be sick, lying in a hospital bed. They may be confined to a wheelchair, just physically unable to exercise. And I think, am I really so selfish that I'm going to skip my workout just because I don't feel like doing it? And then I immediately change the way I think, and I go and execute my workout.
Wow.
But I think just literally practicing a bit of gratitude every day will take you far in life, and it will do, amazing things, just for your mind.
That's a nice way of thinking about it. I've never looked at it this way. So yeah. I mean, if just make use of what you have to the best, and try to make an impact.
Really. And I mean, I didn't always think like this. And I honestly think because I've had so many injuries, and I've had so many orthopedic surgeries, on my body, and I've still managed to kind of rehabilitate and come back from all of those. And I'm still fit and healthy, despite what I've been through.
Yeah.
I think that's really helped me develop a lot of gratitude. I'm like, man, I'm not in a wheelchair right now. Like, I'm able to work out, and I've been in wheelchairs, and I've been walking on crutches.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, man, I'm walking on 2 feet right now. Like, be thankful for that.
Exactly.
Go like crush my workout.
Well, okay. That's. I wouldn't know. That's the point.
Oh man, I commend you.
So, I think we're good. Okay. So the last part. Now, you've been in Metalize for the longest period, like 5-6 years, I think.
Right.
You've started that place from literally.
This, I started working at CrossFit Metalize officially November 25th, 2013. The official opening date of CrossFit Metalize was December 2nd, 2013. And I left CrossFit Metalize September 29th, 2019. So I was there nearly 6 years, at one gym coaching. And I mean,
and you were the head coach.
I was the head.
Everybody knew you there. I was
the head coach.
It was like cheers for you, right? Like,
right.
Yeah. Everybody knows you. Everybody knows your name.
Absolutely. I mean, and I was there for longer than I think any other CrossFit coach was coaching at any other gyms.
Yeah, that's true.
I was there. I put in a lot of time there, and I'm proud of what I did there. And it was a very good experience, and it was a great great job that I had, you know.
And yet, towards the end, you weren't content.
I'd say, yeah. It's not that I wasn't content. I just didn't really feel like I was growing. Right. You know, and it's not that I didn't enjoy what I was doing. It really just came down to the point that I didn't feel like I wasn't positively impacting as many people as I needed to. You know, because you were just in that one gym, just in those four walls, right. You know, and then you have your own little gym community there. But I mean, the world is much, much bigger than that. Absolutely. Right? And, you know, after 5 or 6 years, I think anyone would probably be ready for a change, you know, something different and just to grow. So that's. So what do you do now? What's different? So now I work for myself, you know, and I don't know if I could call myself an entrepreneur, but I work for myself, and I do mainly just in-person training. I don't really coach group fitness or CrossFit anymore, and I do a lot of online personalized programming and just like online coaching. And so I'm still obviously in the fitness industry. I don't think I'll ever get out of that. I love fitness, and I think that was kind of my purpose. The online thing, I think, is a big thing if you're able to penetrate that. I do think, and that's a passive income right there. That's what I'm working towards. You have a few ebooks that you've published, I do. I'm actually coming out with another one probably next week. It'll be my 4th ebook. Oh wow! And I'm not earning a lot of money on these, and you are actually earning more before. Now you changed, and now you're kind of went back. It's quite volatile, especially, you know, working for yourself. Exactly. You know, so you left a stable sort of. Yeah, I left a very stable income, a very reliable, you know, job, and a lot of comfort and a lot of security. I'll put it that way. And I went off on my own per se, and it was, for me, it was the right thing to do. And I know not everyone could do that. However, like, I've been doing it for 5 or 6 years, and I really feel like I was complacent. And I probably should have left sooner than I did even. Right. But it just got to the point where, you know, I wasn't growing. And so what do you say to people who are, you know, in your place at that time now? They're in a place where they feel they're complacent, their comfort zone. They're making good money, like, but they're not happy. Although they're at the top of the kind of, you know, at that place. Yes. Whether it's at work, a gym, a school, whatever it is, but they're not happy. Do they just leave everything and go and do what you did, or? I wish it was that simple. And I know we kind of touched upon this, but I really feel like everyone should really try to be on the path of never-ending self-improvement, you know, or be on the never-ending path of self-improvement would be the better way to say it. However, I do realize it's not that simple. I mean, I was really fortunate because I'm single. I didn't have any kids. I didn't have any responsibilities, anyone else relying on me, you know, and luckily I've been responsible financially. I've always saved money, and, you know, the worst case scenario, even if I didn't work for an extended period of time, you know, that's not gonna, like, I would be okay. I'll put it that way. And it really just came down to me not being happy, you know, and I would drive to work some days and I would be thinking, this is not what I should be doing, you know, at least not at this place. And I just wasn't growing, and that's what it came down to. And if someone else, or if other people are in that similar situation, I feel like you can take calculated risks, you know? Right. And here's one thing I know: if nothing changes, then nothing changes, you know? And if you don't change your behavior, then, you know, obviously your results are not going to change. Yeah. And so really think long and hard about, you know, what you want to do, you know, and where you're at. And as long as I think you're not responsible for, you know, anyone else, or no one else is really relying on you, or you're not being, I guess, like, financially irresponsible, then I would definitely encourage you to take a leap of faith and really follow your passion, you know, or really kind of follow your heart, you know. That's kind of what I did.
By calculated passion.
Yeah, it was definitely calculated for sure. I knew that I could really just kind of sustain myself just through personal training, just with a few clients, and I knew things would kind of build from there.
So you had some sort of a visibility when it comes to your lifestyle, your income, you knew that, you know what, I'm going to change.
Right.
But then it wasn't like to the complete oblivion or complete kind of...
No, like I was taking a risk for sure, but I wasn't taking like a huge, like insurmountable, risk where that I couldn't recover from, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean,
it's calculated, as you said. Yeah.
I wouldn't tell anyone, hey, quit your job, stop your career, and
and follow
throw everything away, and go pursue basket weaving. If that's your passion. Yeah, like whatever it may be. But I do think it. We're only on this earth for a certain amount of time, and I think you only live once, and you really should, follow your passion, pursue what you want. I mean,
so what's next for you? How do you see yourself in, let's say, 5 years, 6 years?
5 years. Wow.
Do you have that? Do you have it planned?
No,
apart from having kids and probably driving them to school.
yeah. No, I do think getting married or starting a family that will be in the future for me at some point. But like just on a personal level for me, or a professional level. Yeah. This may sound. I don't think it sounds crazy, but I would really love to compete in CrossFit again.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
like even though I'm 32, turning 33, I still really have the desire and aspiration to compete again if my body would allow me to. I'd love to do that, even if it was like competing at the Masters level, 35 and above. I wouldn't
Tanner
mind.
in the Masters.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. And then I would really love to kind of work my way out of, relying on personal training as my main source of income. And I would love to bring that, or to, move more of that to like an online
passive income.
Yeah, passive income, or, just doing whatever it is, personalized programming, or remote coaching.
So I think you're doing 3 things now. You're starting your YouTube channel very soon.
I'm going to.
So that's
with your help.
So that's one thing. You have your programs, which is online, and people can purchase these.
Right.
Where can they purchase them from?
So I have a website that I've made, and a friend helped me, but I actually did a lot of it myself, and that's truestrength.co.
Truestrength.co. Okay. Yep. And they can purchase from there. It has
e-commerce,
and they can pay.
Yes, they can. I have a couple ebooks, and I actually have like online programs that you can subscribe to.
Okay.
And so like program subscriptions, and really
like a monthly subscription.
Exactly.
Sort of. Okay.
And just like really, I just want to show as many people, or introduce to as many people as possible. Like.
And is it personalized? Like, do you talk to these people? Are they able to?
It can be. It depends. Like, so I offer like online personalized programming, or I just, I have different like programs, like a straight up strength program where it's really if your main goal is just to get stronger. Is it too expensive?
How much do you?
Yeah. So there's definitely different pricing options. So a personalized program where I'm like actually coaching you and you're in contact with me, on a daily and weekly basis. Right. That's going to be more expensive.
Okay. How much is it?
It's more of my time. I charge $285 a month. So
it's not bad.
It's about roughly, it comes out to be 1,050 dirhams.
Yeah.
That's kind of the market here in Dubai, and because I'm based in Dubai.
And that's so they call you call them, you make sure that the program is for them and everything.
Exactly. It's personalized, customized. It's called True Strength Custom. I was actually working on it this morning.
Okay.
Yeah,
does it include also nutrition and food and
really? Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. And all that information is available on my website now.
Everything. Okay.
And then I have or strength programs, like basically that anyone can follow, and really they're honestly really good. I promise you they're really good, and you'll get stronger just following that. And you can
what kind of equipment do they need to?
Basically,
like
you can do it. Yeah, really. If it's a functional fitness gym or a bodybuilding style gym, as long as you have a barbell, a rack, a pull-up bar, weight plates. Ideally, you'd have some kind of like cardio machine, like an assault bike or a rower. or like a manual treadmill. You can, anything like that. And I promise you'll get a really, really good workout and get a lot better and get a lot stronger following
Trust me, I know.
Yeah, that strength program. I also have like a dumbbells only program for people that, don't have access to a gym. I have a body weight only program. And
how much are those?
Those, my dumbbell and bodyweight program are less than 100 dirhams. They're $25 a month.
Wow. Yeah, and that's the ebook or it's a subscription?
That's the subscription. My ebooks are $30. So that's like 110 dirhams.
Okay.
So they're obviously they're definitely provide you a lot more value than that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and then I'll be releasing probably a CrossFit or like competitive fitness program soon, just because I have a lot of experience in that, and I need to release it because I think I could probably help a lot of people that aspire to compete in fitness.
So you have your potentially YouTube very soon.
Yes.
Which I can't wait for you to launch it because it'll be
really cool. I want to really put out some really valuable, fitness, insight, and experience.
So I think anyone who follows you online, probably haven't met you, but follows you online, knows how much value every single post you have. So imagine if that's translated into a proper YouTube, because Instagram, you can say so much.
You can only put a short caption,
short caption and a picture, and probably a short video clip, but that's about it.
Right, and I definitely think like YouTube's an amazing platform to deliver better content and, really deliver a better message to people that, want to follow me. So
exactly. And you can have series, you can have sort of people following up with you across, and if they go and purchase a subscription or even the ebook and they look at it's just, I think it provides a really good base for them to start, or even if they're advanced, it's better than, I'm just saying, I can't wait for it because I know for sure it's just the YouTube channel will be very rich with information from experience, and not just personal experience, but also your athletes, seeing people, training people.
Right.
I remember, you're one of the very few, if not the only one, who coached, and not just me, but everybody says the same thing. Not just the workout, but also the way you calculate the weights individually.
Yes.
I think you have a unique talent when it comes to that. It's just unbelievable.
Thank you.
Everywhere, I remember every workout that you used to give us, it used to have the last drop of energy from us.
Yes.
Not a single, so if there's a rep more, that's it, we can't do it. If there's a rep less, then we couldn't do it. So it's just exactly right. And that kind of coach, so it's not just you being an athlete or competitor, but also you knowing what's best for people.
Right.
Especially customizing these programs and these kind of workouts in a way that will make them better if they choose to actually follow it.
Absolutely.
That's a unique talent that I know for sure. I've tried it myself, that you have, which I know when it translates into YouTube and and then it gets complementing it with the website and the Instagram, it will make a huge impact. And that's your passive income. And then when you have enough videos, when you have enough clients, then that will drive on its own. It's just momentum, and then
we will see. I know honestly, Usama, you're mainly you and another client. They both started their own YouTube channels, and I thought to myself, wow, if my clients and friends can do this, I can too. And so I want to thank you because you've actually really given me a lot of inspiration to do it, and to quit thinking about it and actually do it. So I'm very thankful for that, and I know that you and I will be probably sitting down and have a lot more conversations.
So I think this is it. It's thank you, Tanner. Man. I don't know what to say. It's the first episode. I'm very excited. It's the energy, the emotions, the conversations that we had. Honestly, when I planned this with you, we planned like half an hour?
Maybe, yeah. I know it probably exceeded that quite a bit.
Exceeded probably quite a bit. I think it's overrun an hour and a half. I need to do a bit of a trimming down.
You'll have to condense it, but hopefully you'll have some good, valuable information to deliver to your followers.
I can immediately think about how it will flow, because I have to kind of slice it and dice it in a way that it's condensed, not because anything that's not valuable. I mean, I can't think of anything I can edit out. It's just at the time. But this is the first time. Really, thank you. Don't know what to say. I don't know why you accepted. It's
No, man, honestly, I'm honored and humbled that you thought of me to be on Escapade or the show.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, it was a genuine honor, and I'm very thankful for you. And honestly, you're one of the most honest, nicest, genuine people that I've met, and I consider you a true friend. And of course, I'd be here.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
That's it for this week's episode of Escapade. If you feel like supporting my work, consider subscribing to this channel and reach out if you'd like me to talk about a special topic. In the next episode, we're going to continue our journey in finding what would it take to make us ready. If you want to be featured on a future episode, I'm happy to talk. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Appreciate your support. Until next time.